Hey, I'm Ben Nichols. I play in a band from Memphis, Tennessee called Lucero, and we are in Evanston. We're near Chicago, and we're doing 3 nights for a New Year's Eve run. And yeah, bringing in 2025 here in Chicago. So yeah, to run through the gear, my stuff's pretty simple. I've been playing Epiphone Sheridans for pretty much the 25 years the band has been around. I started off with a little Hagstrom, and that was the first electric guitar I ever bought off of a friend. But then I figured out that I just liked the way the ES335 kind of looked. And the Sheridans are a great version of that. They're cheaper. And if something happens to it, if it gets stolen or broken, I can go to any guitar center across the country, no matter where I am, and buy another one for about $600 now. This is actually a Korean-made Sheridan, which supposedly the Korean ones, I don't know, might be a little more solid than the newer Chinese ones. I'm not sure about that. I've got some Chinese ones and they play just fine. But this is a Korean version. I don't change the pickups, everything's stock. I usually play with the bridge pickup, and everything's maxed out. The tone knobs are maxed out, volume knobs are maxed out. Every now and again, I'll turn down the one pickup and do a little feedback noise with the switch, but that's about as fancy as I get. But yeah, just everything's stock. It's just an inexpensive guitar that anybody could afford that's quality and it'll do whatever you want it to do. The strings are pretty simple too. I play 11s. I don't do a whole lot of noodly solos, so 11s just feel real solid and kind of meaty, and I feel like they stay in tune a little bit better than the 10s might for me. Brands, we've been playing Ernie Balls for a long time, but recently we've converted to Stringjoy, and we've been using Stringjoy strings a lot. They're a smaller kind of just mom and pop brand. So Stringjoy that we've been using recently, actually out of Nashville, just a smaller brand of strings, and they seem to be really quality stuff too. Tuning, I've only got one song. We actually played it last night off of Among the Ghosts that has a slightly different tuning where I tune the G string up a couple of steps. But other than that, it's just all standard tuning. Keep it as simple as possible. I don't even like using capos just because I don't like taking the time to tune. So yeah, standard tuning on 11s, Stringjoys or Ernie Balls, really whatever we can get our hands on. So yeah, the Boss tuner, everybody's got one. The standard. I just switched back to this OCD overdrive pedal. It used to be, these are Earthquakers, and I had an Earthquaker overdrive that I was using a gray channel, but it needed some TLC that I wasn't able to do before this New Year's Eve run of shows. So the OCD is, it's just your standard overdrive. I use it just when I'm palm muting chords, and I use it on a couple of solos. This cloven hoof is a fuzz pedal, and it's Earthquaker, and I'm in love with the Earthquaker stuff. My wife is actually from Northeast Ohio, and they make all these pedals in Akron, and so I kind of like buying the hometown pedals. And this fuzz pedal is awesome. I use it a lot on solos, and then just when I want to get a little crazy. It's called the cloven hoof. And this is an Earthquaker reverb pedal, the Leviathan. You can get crazy with it. I just use it for just a touch of reverb. The amp has reverb on it. This is just a nice subtle kind of echo reverb thing. And that's all I got. That's all I do. I've been in love with Blues Juniors for a long time for the electric guitar. Really simple. It's got a pre-volume and a master volume. I'm sorry, the mic stand's blocking some of the stuff. But yeah, pre-volume, post-volume, really that's all the overdrive you need. You can get a really good tone just by cranking up the pre-volume, especially with the humbuckers on this Sheridan. Yeah, treble, bass, mid, a little bit of reverb. This fat switch, it's always in. It just kind of beefs things up a little bit. But they're small, lightweight, super versatile, and just easy. That's the main thing, is just keeping it simple and easy. So I love them. And really, what makes the Blues Junior so easy is that from room to room, from venue to venue, I don't have to change it much. For me, I keep the master volume on 3, about 5 or 6 for the pre-volume, which gives me some dirt and some kind of distortion, some overdrive. And then usually I can turn these just kind of all about the same, something right there in the middle for treble, bass, and mid. And that, depending on the room, might vary just a little bit. But you can keep it pretty simple and you don't have to mess with it a lot. And it's just a nice, consistent sound. All right, so we've discussed the electric stuff, the electric guitar and the electric amp. I also play acoustic guitar every night. And for the acoustic, I've fallen in love with the Martin 0015M is what this is called. I love the size. It's not as big as a Dreadnought. I love the color. A guy from Martin brought it out when we were on tour with Social Distortion and was like, just try this out. I think up until then I'd been playing Takaminis. But he brought me one and it just plays really smooth. The action is nice. It just feels the way you want an acoustic guitar to feel. It doesn't hurt your fingers to play and it sounds, the tone's great. It's got a pickup in it. I believe it's a Fishman pickup, so I can just plug in right there. I got the feedback buster. It's great for live shows, keeps it from feeding back. But it's got some electronics in there, volume and a tone knob here that I just max out. And yeah, it always sounds good, no matter what room it's in. All right, so it's got a place to hook your strap right here on this end. It does not have any place to hook a strap down here. So I could buy a fancy strap that has a little tie thing here, or you can just go to the grocery store and buy some clothing line, and you got kind of a Woody Guthrie kind of a look, maybe? I don't know. And it's what I've done. It's what I've done ever since I got the guitar. And yeah, and I go through some clothing line every now and again. You got to readjust it. It wears out, falls apart sometimes. But really, yeah, it doesn't hurt. People are like, oh, it's got to hurt your shoulder. I'm like, no, it's just fine. It's just something I've always done. It's kind of silly, but I like it. And for the acoustic pedal board, it's even simpler than the electric pedal board. You got a Boss tuner again, just the standard. This JHS reverb pedal I picked up on tour. I think I might have had an Echoplex or something that just kind of went south. I broke it from just too much travel. And this is what I happened to find to replace it. And I love it. It's a really cool, very simple reverb pedal, and I've just got it dialed in. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of verb, a little bit of EQ, not too long of a decay. This is another Earthquaker pedal, and this is a crazy one. I only use it on one song. It kind of does different tones that drone underneath the other notes that you're playing. So it's cool if you can pick some single note things, it'll just create these layers of drone. And it's difficult to find places to use it, but in a couple of things, it's really cool. And I love those Earthquaker pedals. And that's all I've got for the acoustic. It's real simple. And I'm running that pedal board through a Fishman amp, just your classic acoustic guitar amp. This is the type of thing where you could plug the acoustic in here and plug in a vocal mic here and go out on the street and busk. I'm running it through a DI just in case if the power comes unplugged or something, the front of house guy still has a direct signal for the guitar. But that's not necessary. It does have a direct out on the back, but that gets knocked around some. This is just a little more sturdy. And yeah, it's really dirty. I'm realizing now that it's got light on it. I don't see it in the light very much. But yeah, you got volume, low, mid, high, just real simple. This anti-feedback thing is useful sometimes, although with the feedback buster, I don't really need it. And you've got some effects. I think I got a little bit of reverb dialed in just all the time. Your master volume's over here. And that's all I touch is that top row. I don't use this second channel much. So yeah, I carry my own vocal mic around because vocal mics can get pretty nasty after numerous uses. And if it's gonna be nasty, I want it to be my nastiness at least. And so I carry my own nastiness around with me in this SE V7 vocal mic that my sound guy, he's got a hookup with SE, and he's bought a lot of their gear over the years. And he recommends it. You can sing right, if you get off of the mic too far, you just go away. So it doesn't get a lot of extraneous noise. You've got to be right on it. And if you're right on it, it sounds great. And I don't I don't move around a lot. If I'm singing, I'm just right on the mic. So it's clear, it doesn't get a lot of extraneous noise, and yeah, he likes the way they sound out front, so I trust him. And yeah, finally, I guess I've been playing Jim Dunlop nylon picks, 73s. It's just somewhere right in the middle. It's not too light, not too heavy. Yeah, I hate playing with picks that are too heavy. This feels just right for strumming chords or playing solos, either one. It's easy pick to use. The band's called Lucero. You can find us at luceromusic.com, and I think the Instagram handle's also at luceromusic. So yeah, Instagram, website, either one will tell you where we're gonna be playing, where you can find our music, how you can book us if you want to. So yeah, it's a good place to start. Look us up if you can.